Hi everyone, Lily the Kid Chef here, making some food in the kitchen today. We have 3 recipes we're going to execute. First is zucchini fritters. Second, we're going to make a tzatziki sauce to go with. And third, we're going to make some gazpacho. Let's go ahead and start on our gazpacho first. That way we can have some time for the flavors to meld and for it to chill. Gazpacho is a cold soup from Spain. So delicious and refreshing. And as you guys know, we're filming at my mom's house and she loves it. So we're going to first start off with a cucumber. We're going to use half of this cucumber. We'll save the other half for our tzatziki dip or sauce. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grate this cucumber into our bowl. Actually, we're going to dice this one. Excuse me, the grated one is for the tzatziki sauce. So this one, we're just going to kind of dice everything and set everything out, and then we'll be putting it in our food processor to blend up. Oh, this cucumber smells so good. All of our ingredients here from the Willie Street Co-op, and most of them are fresh and local because it's summertime and smell so wonderful. All right, so we're cutting everything in 1-inch dice, and then we're going to end up pureeing it kind of separately in the food processor, and then combining everything and mixing it into our chunky cold soup. All right, so after the cucumber, we're going to cut up our red bell pepper. Did you guys know that bell peppers all turn to red when they're ripe? They start out green, and they transition to yellow, then to orange, and then to red. So the sweetest bell pepper is the red one. One I like the best. I'm using my chef knife here, guys. This is an adult chef knife, but you can also use our Puree chef knives that we have. This will go right through the red pepper also. This is a great knife for kids to use. Much safer than a traditional sharp knife. And again, our red bell pepper is going to get cut into dice, 1-inch dice as well. And make sure you take all the seeds out and all of the membrane out and just have the nice flesh of the pepper. I love red peppers. They actually have more vitamin C than an orange. Let's see, what else are we going to put in here? We're going to put in some onion and some tomato next. Let's go ahead and chop our onion next because it's going to be the least messy thing for our cutting board. I like to chop kind of in order of what's the least messiest to the messiest. And how much onion do we need? We just need a half a small onion. I would say this is a medium one, so I'm just going to use, I think, a quarter of this one. I don't want my gazpacho to be too overpowered with onion flavor. We're using a raw onion, a red onion here, raw. Make sure you help kiddos chop up all of these ingredients, and make sure you help them with the food processor. This is a great family recipe. All right, so we have 2 small garlic cloves next that we're gonna mince. And to get your garlic, you're just going to go ahead and smush it with the back of your knife. And that'll loosen the skin, and you peel it, get that skin off. People always say, oh, can I use jarred garlic? Fresh garlic is definitely the best. Tastes the best, it's the healthiest. And we're just going to run our knife through that carefully. You can also use a garlic press here. That's a really awesome tool. And we want to get this garlic pretty nice and minced because we're just going to fold it into our soup instead of processing it with all the other ingredients. All right. Nice and minced garlic. Looks great. All right, so let's see what's next. We have some tomatoes. We're going to use 2 tomatoes. These are local vine ripened tomatoes. And again, everything is from the Willie Street Co-op. And Roma tomatoes or heirloom tomatoes, those are great too for this. You just want to use nice summer ripe tomatoes. All right. Dice our tomatoes into pieces. And as you guys can see, I'm just kind of piling everything up here. We're going to go ahead and process it shortly. There's multiple different kinds of gazpachos. There's some made out of grapes, some made out of almonds, but the kind that we're making today is a tomato and cucumber based gazpacho. So refreshing. All right, let's see what else we need. We are going to start to puree our gazpacho, guys. So let's go ahead and put everything in here and kind of give it a whirl, one ingredient at a time. We're going to do our cucumber first, and as you can see, I have a food processor here. This will work a lot better than a blender because it's going to keep your ingredients in coarser pieces versus puree them and turning them into pure liquid. We don't want that. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to use my spatula here to just kind of push everything down. All right, so we have our cucumber in there. Now I'm going to add my red pepper, guys. And my onion. Remember not to puree your ingredients too fine. Now we're going to add our tomato. Nice, juicy, ripe tomato. All right, that consistency is looking great, guys. It's pureed, but it's still a little bit chunky. We want some chunks to kind of have some mouthfeel going on. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to eyeball that here. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of wine vinegar. I have red wine vinegar. You could use white wine vinegar too. 1, 2. We're going to be a little bit more careful eyeballing the vinegar than we were the oil. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. And some fresh ground black pepper. Smelling so good in here, guys. All right. So now I'm going to add my garlic actually and puree it. I wasn't going to add the garlic. I was going to fold it, but I changed my mind. I do that often. I'm going to put that in there, and we're going to put the lid back on. We're going to go ahead and give it one more whirl. We're going to check it out. All right, guys, so now we're going to add 3 cups of tomato juice. Let's see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit 3 cups in my food processor, so I'm going to go ahead and put the 3 cups right in my jar here. Pour the solids from the food processor into the jar, and then mix everything up for my gazpacho. It's almost ready. Pretty easy. All right, so this is a quart of juice, so let's just go ahead and measure all but a cup of it into here. Ooh, that looks like it's right on the money. A little bit more. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add our pureed vegetables, guys. Make our gazpacho. Let's see, I gotta be careful here. I don't want to spill and make a mess. So I'm gonna use a spoon to help me scoop this into my jar. A jar is a nice vessel to store your gazpacho in. Your gazpacho has a lot of acid in it, so a jar will be better than a plastic container. But maybe you'll eat it all right away. In that case, you can pour it into plastic. That's just fine. All right. Oh, I can't explain to you how good this smells. Obviously, we have smell vision. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and seal my jar and just kind of shake it up, guys. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. That's gazpacho. Isn't that cool? Cool Spanish soup. Give your kids some tortilla chips and they'll love it. All right, let's go ahead and taste this. We want to make sure it has a nice amount of acid, a nice amount of salt and pepper. Let's see. Got my spoon here. And we're going to let it chill while we make our other components to this meal. Oh, it's so good. I can't tell you how good it is. A little bit chunky, but not too chunky. Nice and fresh. All right, guys, our gazpacho is ready. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator. Let it start to chill. And I'm going to clean up a little bit. We always clean as we go. Okay. So I think now I'm going to make my batter for my zucchini fritters. These are kind of like veggie pancakes, guys. They're great. Okay. Clean this tomato booger mess up. Got our compost container. Just swipe all of our veggie scraps right into there and keep on rocking and rolling. Alrighty, so zucchini fritters, guys, let's talk about them. These are absolutely delicious. One of my favorite things to make in the summertime to accompany the gazpacho. Okay, so in this bowl, I have a towel, and we're going to go ahead and take our zucchini, and we're going to shred it with our cheese grater. So as you see here, I have a yellow squash. This is actually called a zephyr squash, but it's a summer squash just like a zucchini. So I wanted to show you that these guys are interchangeable. You could use either of them. You could also use the round patty pan squash for this recipe. All right, so let's go ahead and cut off the ends of our medium zucchini. I'd say these are medium as zucchini get very, very large. And we're going to go ahead and shred the zucchini right into the bowl, guys, using the cheese grater onto the towel. And the towel we're going to use to squeeze all the excess water out of our zucchini so that our zucchini batter is not too watery. Zucchini is made mostly water inside of this, so we want to get some of that out of there so that our batter doesn't run all over the place while we're cooking our fritters. Woo. And you can shred this with a food processor if you have one of those that we just used, if you have the shredding blade, but I'm just using a cheese grater and doing it by hand. I always tell kids, knuckles up when you grate. You don't want to grate your knuckles. This is actually one of the most common tools that I get injuries with working with kids. And, you know, they're able to heal up real fast, but just be careful that they can shred their little fingers. All right. So we got one down, got a little piece of it left. That's okay. Now we're going to shred our green zucchini. All right, so what else is going in these fritters, guys? Let's see. We're going to put some fresh dill in there, some green onion, some lemon zest, a little bit of egg, and a little bit of flour to hold it all together. Gonna build your muscles like this. Cooking is hard work, guys. It's a great activity to do with your kids because they actually do get some physical exercise out of it. Oh. All right, that's great. So now we have our zucchini all shredded up into the bowl, and we're just going to let it sit for a minute after putting some salt on it. The salt will go ahead and start to force the water out of the zucchini. So we're going to use about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to eyeball that. Ooh, come on, salt, come on out. Here we go. Mix that up. And that salt is going to make the water just start to come right out. All right, I'm going to set this aside while we go ahead and mix up the rest of the batter, you guys. Have my pink bowl right here for that. So let's see, what are we going to put in here? We're going to put a 1/2 cup of feta cheese. Feta cheese is really tangy and sharp and salty and delicious. The feta cheese that I have is already crumbled up. If you can't find that, just go ahead and crumble some feta cheese and put it in your bowl. 1/2 cup of feta cheese, 1 egg, all right, guys, so now we're going to zest our lemon. We're going to use this tool right here called a microplane. There's so much flavor in the zest of the lemon, and we can get that flavor into our batter without adding extra liquid from the juice. And this is so fragrant. If you don't have a zester or a microplane, you can use a knife to kind of scrape off the lemon peel and slice it into little pieces. Or you can go ahead and use the small part of a 4-sided box grater. Whatever you need to do to harvest this lemon zest. And I use it in all sorts of things. I use it in my pancakes, in my tuna salad, anywhere where I would want the flavor of lemon, but not a bunch of extra liquid. Okay. So let's see what we're going to put in there next. Our dill and our green onion, guys. Green onion, also known as scallion, right here. Beautiful little spring onions. I'm going to go ahead and chop up. And, scissors work great for snipping herbs if you're working with children. I like to use herbs like cilantro, dill, basil, and just give kids a pair of Fisker scissors to snip up for me. It works a lot easier than them trying to use the kids' knives. The kids' knives don't make it through herbs very well. All right. Chopping up our green onion, put a few tablespoons of that into our batter. Some fresh dill, you guys. The dill is going to go into our tzatziki sauce as well, so I might as well chop up enough for our tzatziki and our batter right now. And these dill is called dill fronds, the little parts that we're going to use. So we're going to pick the fronds off of the stems. So you only want the fronds, and then the stems you can go ahead and compost. Those are kind of woody, and they don't have a lot of dill flavor. If you can't get fresh dill, guys, go ahead and substitute a tablespoon of dry dill. That'll work just fine. A teaspoon, excuse me, per tablespoon. Per tablespoon of fresh, you want a teaspoon of dry. All right, so let's go ahead, mince up our dill. Our 3 tablespoons into our batter. And some aside for our tzatziki sauce. Tzatziki sauce is a Greek yogurt sauce, often found with falafel and gyros, but it's so delicious with these fritters also. All right, let's see what else is going to go in there, guys. I got to look at my recipe real quick. We're going to add some garlic. We need 2 teaspoons of garlic and 3 tablespoons of flour, and that's it. And then we'll go ahead and wring out that zucchini. Okay. More garlic. I should have chopped a whole bunch of garlic up last round and just saved it for these recipes, because the next recipe has garlic too. All right. Can't get enough garlic, in my opinion. Mince up our garlic, and we're going to use some in our tzatziki sauce, so I might as well chop that up right now, like I just said. Not too much in the tzatziki, guys, because it's going to stay raw, and you really don't want it to overpower the sauce. But we can put a nice amount in our fritters. All right. So I'm going to put this garlic into my fritters. And let's see, let's do one more clove for that sauce. And again, this would be a good time to use the garlic press to get it fully macerated. Macerated just means really, really fine, juicy. All right, nice, finely minced garlic for the tzatziki sauce. Alrighty. And then let's go ahead and mix this up before we add our flour and our zucchini that we're going to squeeze the water out of. With our batter bowl right here. So let's go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of flour. Oh, let's go ahead and get our griddle preheated real quick too, guys. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of flour. Mix that up. Okay. Looking good, looking good. We don't want this a runny batter. We don't want this to be a runny batter. All right, so here is our zucchini. We're going to go ahead and take the towel and wring all that water out. Liquid that will make our batter too soggy. You could go ahead and put this liquid in some zucchini bread. Drink it, or dump it down the sink. It might be a little bit salty. All right. Oh, look at that, guys. Squeeze, squeeze. Get that liquid out of there. Okay, that looks good. Man, I think about half a cup of water just came out of there. So now, and make sure you use a very clean dish towel, guys. All right, so now we're going to dump that zucchini and yellow squash into the bowl. Mix up our batter. And it's more like a fritter batter than a pancake batter, guys. It's not very runny. I'm going to use my hands to combine these ingredients. Your hands are your best tools. I always tell my kiddos that. Okay, that's looking good. So I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to get my griddle preheated here. Okay. While my griddle is preheating, we'll proceed with our tzatziki sauce. Bring my griddle over so you guys can see these cook. And we're going to preheat it to 350 degrees. And let's go ahead and keep working on our tzatziki while that preheats. So I have the dill, the garlic, and here I have some Greek yogurt that I'm going to go ahead and dump into my bowl. And again, this is going to be served with our fritters as a topping. Okay. We're going to use a little bit more lemon zest in here. And we're going to use some lemon juice also. Smells so good. Pop off your microplane to get all of that lemon zest into the bowl. All right, so I cut my lemon into quarters, and I'm going to go ahead and put a quarter of the lemon. I'm going to go ahead and juice it. I'm going to use my lemon juicer, and that'll prevent the seeds from going in. Actually, my Mexican lime squeezer. Okay. And now, guys, we're going to go ahead and shred some of our cucumber, our other half of cucumber left over from our gazpacho, and put that in there. Got my cheese grater here. Let's go ahead and scooch our griddle back a little bit, move these lemons over, and I'm going to go ahead and grate using my cheese grater. Remember, guys, knuckles up. Cook and makes your arms real strong. Okay. Oh, the cucumber smells so fresh. Okay, let's go ahead and put our cucumber into the bowl. And we're going to add some fresh black pepper. You can use already ground if that's what you have at home. A little bit of salt. A little bit of olive oil. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Taste it, and we'll put this in the fridge as well to let the flavors meld for a few minutes. Meld means for everything to kind of come together and taste like one cohesive dish versus tasting all the ingredients separately. Pretty good, guys. All right, tzatziki sauce going in the fridge. All right, time to clean up a little bit more, right? Got a mess going on here. We're going to clean up and fry up our fritters. I'm so excited for you guys to try this recipe. This is something I make often with adults, but I guarantee your whole family will love it. My apron's coming off. Excuse me, guys. Okay. So here's our griddle. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of canola oil or vegetable oil on here. We want that because it has a higher smoking point than olive oil, and it won't burn. We just need a couple tablespoons. We're not deep frying here. We're just kind of pan frying these fritters in the oil. So we want it to get hot. We always preheat first so that our food doesn't stick. And I'm just going to use my hands to form these into, can you hear that sizzle? That's what we want to hear. About 3-inch small circles, about the size of sausage patties. Be very careful putting these on here, guys. And you can also do this in a frying pan if that's what you have at home. Okay. We're going to cook these until they're golden brown and delicious on both sides. We only want to flip them once, so I'll tell you how to know when they're ready to flip in a minute here, but we're going to look for browning all the way around the edges. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have 8 fritters. Oh, smells so good, guys. Okay, let's let those cook. Wash my hands again. And I'm gonna take my fish spatula, you guys, my Peltex, and just kind of push down a little bit on them so they're slightly flattened. I love my fish spatula because it fits right under them nicely. So let's let them cook for a minute and go ahead and plate up our gazpacho. So these will take about 2 to 4 minutes per side. Let's go ahead and give our gazpacho one more shake, guys. Oh, nice shake here. If you have it in a bowl, give it a whisk. Open it up, and I'm going to pour some into our bowls. Got 2 bowls. My mom's going to enjoy this with me. She's my producer. All righty. Let's go ahead and see if these are ready to flip, guys. We're going to use that spatula and look underneath them and see if they're nice and brown. If they're not brown, don't flip them. Golden brown and delicious. You don't want them to fall apart, so be very gentle with them. You could put some fresh basil in here. You could put cilantro in here. You could really kind of change the flavor components to reflect a different ethnicity besides Spain. All right. Looking golden brown, guys. So I'm just giving them a flip and a little push down. I realized I used a little bit more salt than I needed, so hopefully the salt level isn't too much on these. Hopefully they're just right. All right. Last one, all flipped over, golden brown and delicious. We want to let these get golden brown on the other side. And let's go ahead and get that tzatziki out. Couple of soup spoons here. These are looking beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and try our gazpacho while we wait. Mom, you want to come try yours with me? This is my mom Sharon, everybody. She's gonna try the gazpacho. It looks fabulous.
Oh, I love it, Lily.
Oh, thank you so much. You're welcome. It's good, huh?
This is great. Yeah. I'm gonna go sit down and eat it.
All right, so I'm gonna plate us up these zucchini fritters because they're looking like they're browned on the bottom. I'll grab one that's the most cooked and put it on my plate here. Show you guys that it should look nice and golden brown on both sides. And then you're just gonna go ahead and take a dollop of the tzatziki sauce, put it right on top, and eat it like that. So that is our menu, you guys, our gazpacho, our zucchini fritters, and our tzatziki. I hope you enjoy your Mediterranean-themed menu. Take care and see you next time.